Well, it's 2025. Basically, if you guys haven't caught MeTV Toons, if you haven't gotten it on your cable service yet, check your antenna. It's fine on. I know definitely FiOS and Comcast in certain territories does have this on their cable service. I know that for a fact because I have FiOS, and of now of the three channels that I'm watching, all three of them are MeTV channels. MeTV Plus, MeTV Regular, and MeTV Toons. And I've been watching MeTV Toons. And there's been some great stuff, stuff to reminisce on from the other day. I mean, I've been watching a lot of the Super Friends stuff. I mean, they're playing it in sequential order. There has been some minor editing. I don't know. I think it's because of the commercial breaks. I think that's what it is. It's not a direct, like we have a story for Taco Thursday this week that, they're, one of the Macrosses has been edited down, which that's wrong. Disney's now self-editing freaking Macross. That's ridiculous. This is why this is why people still are using the high seas to watch anime. Yeah, exactly. But some good news here. And this was, if you haven't caught his YouTube channel, Black Nerd Comedy, on YouTube, he gets a lot of this channel. We get a lot of the MeTV news on there, especially the Toon stuff. I think he's a Toon channel. But there's some big news that the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is officially joining MeTV Toons on there.
Agnew, give it your stamp of approval.
Which is a good thing. Even though it's been on Pluto, I don't know if it's still on Pluto. I know they're rotating between the original series and to the latter Fox series also. Those last, with the exception of Rewind. I haven't seen Rewind on there, and the series right after that. So I mean, they're going up to a certain point. I think it's up to Female Shredder. I think that's as far as they go. I think, and then they just revert back. But we're going to read this from Cord Cutters. Cowabunga dudes, the rumors are true. Grab a pizza because the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is officially joining MeTV Toons in 2025, bringing the beloved classic 1980s and 1990s animated series back to TV fans old and new. The news first broke by Black Nerd Comedy on YouTube, and fans are excited for the 2025 dip into nostalgia with the most unlikely hit of the 80s and 90s. The exciting addition to the MeTV Toons lineup means fans can relive the adventures of Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael as they battle Shredder, Krang, and the Foot Clan, while all scarfing down pizza and delivering iconic catchphrases. Turtle power! For those of you who don't know what MeTV Toons is, it's a 24-hour antenna TV channel dedicated to classic cartoons, is already home to animated favorites like Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, The Real Ghostbusters, and Beetlejuice, and a lot of other classic stuff that's really good. Now, with the addition of TMNT, the channel further cements its reputation as a nostalgic haven for fans of iconic animated shows. While the exact premiere date for TMNT on MeTV Toons hasn't been announced yet, updates are expected soon. Now, those of you asking, where else can I get MeTV if I can't get it on television? Well, cord cutters can enjoy MeTV Toons through the budget-friendly streaming services like Philo and Friendly TV, available on devices such as Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and more. Both Philo and Friendly currently offer a 7-day free trial, giving you a chance to explore MeTV Toons along with a variety of other live channels that cater to the entire family. It's a perfect setup for a cozy-filled weekend with timeless animated classics. So gather the family, grab some popcorn, and dive into the lineup of animation's most beloved moments. This is fantastic news. This is more and more that MeTV is the main company itself is buying into this. People said, well, we got Boomerang and others. Boomerang is not the same Boomerang as before. This is what we were missing. This is the stuff on there. And they have some of the Japanese stuff. They're playing Speed Racer. They're playing a couple of other series on there from Japan that basically were dubbed into English that basically are, and it's playing in the early parts of the morning. It's, it's between 1 and 5 a.m. You got some good stuff on there. I mean, you got Police Academy, the series. Yes, that's right. There is an animated version of Police Academy. There's an animated version of RoboCop. There's a lot of great series out there, but also the great classics that are on this channel. Rocky and Bullwinkle, another word. Woody Woodpecker, Chilly Willy. As I said before, the Super Friends on there. The Flintstones, the Jetsons, Yogi Bear. I haven't seen any Huckleberry Hounds, but supposedly they got Huckleberry Hound for this because I know that's been a long time on there. Haven't seen Magilla Gorilla yet, but some people said that it's already on there. Some of the other series in between that are out there as well. There's some older cartoons. I mean, they've been doing black and white also. They had that black and white during the holidays where they're showing some really old animated cartoons. And of course, speaking of the old black and white cartoons, you get Popeye the Sailor Man, both the black and white and the color versions. That's some great. I mean, they made some great cartoons back in the day. Today's cartoon, for the Western stuff. I'm not talking about the stuff from the East. The Western stuff is not as good as it used to be, and a lot of it's because of politics. Basically, what it is that we had people that just they were kids. These guys who produced this, they were kids themselves. They just loved to produce some of this stuff. And of course, you got those out there that says, well, we shouldn't be showing some of this stuff. It's from a different era. They were very racist. No, they were comedic. People, these are characters, especially a lot of stuff, the World War II cartoons. That was a different time, yes, but it was making things in because things were dark then. Those cartoons that came out, yeah, some of them were war propaganda because it was, the U.S. government was involved in it. It's like the Disney stuff, and some of the Warner Brothers stuff. But a lot of the, when you look at them and you say to yourself, these were pretty funny. It just made levity. They didn't really, on occasion, they do the Hollywood people and they resemble it, but most of the other ones, it doesn't really resemble anyone. And they were just making jokes. And they were funny, But they call everything racist. They call, the stupidest things racist these days. I mean, these were cartoons. And, they complained, they said, well, kids should be watching cartoons. They're not made for adults. That's the kind of argument they have these days. When it comes to animation, you have stuff that's made for kids and stuff that's made for adults. It's a way of conveying a story, whether it's something that's funny, like a Roadrunner cartoon where Wile E. Coyote drops an anvil on himself, or runs across the edge of a cliff, doesn't realize that there's no ground below him, and then realizes it and falls. Then of course you have the Superman, the old Max Fleischer stuff and all, and they used to criticize that. Because kids used to play that they pretend they're Superman and jump, and try to pretend to fly, and yeah, some of them did get hurt. And they try to blame the, they say we can't have that show, we can't show a guy flying. Yeah, it's the silly things that happen. But the thing is that you have to sit with your kids. As parents, you sit with your kids, you enjoy the cartoons, and you say, this is fun. You watch the Smurfs, you watch, the real Ghostbusters, or you watch a Bugs Bunny cartoon, or Rocky and Bullwinkle, and, you enjoy it. It's to take you away from the issues that are going on in the world. Some of it may show a little like the World War II cartoons. Yeah, of course, the Snafu cartoons. If you ever watch the Snafu cartoons, those are hysterical in itself. If you don't know what Snafu is, it's basically these were war cartoons that literally this One particular private used to get himself into a lot of problems, and it was a way of conveying a message to the troops. That basically, you don't do this, don't do that. But they did it in a comedic, fun way, because it's like when you're teaching something, and this is, when I was growing up, and I went to Catholic school. First I went to public, and then I went to Catholic school. My grammar school days and my middle school and my high school were all in Catholic. In my grammar school days, PBS used to team up with some of the schools out there, and they used to send a special broadcast out on a special UHF channel, and these were made just for the schools, and they would have some sort of something educational, depending on what grade you're talking about. Most of the time with the kids ones, like the first through third grade, you would have something animated, an animated story or something like that, and they would play it on the screen. We'd bring in the TV, and basically they would show it, and it would have some sort of educational value to it. But these days, they don't want you watching that. They don't want you watching Zoom or the Electric Company or the old versions of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or those old versions of Sesame Street. They go like, oh, Sesame Street, they didn't have any minorities back then. It was like, yeah, they did. Oh, the puppets did. Yeah, they did. If you remember Roosevelt, I remember that. People don't talk about him anymore. They basically that is one of the Jim Henson puppets they don't use anymore. Most of the other they've transitionalized, and they said, we got to bring in this kind of this kind of character and that, and kids don't need to know that. You just want to give them the basics. Like the memory games, a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter. You remember that? Remember that? Type that in. If those of you who do not know that are not from my age group, type that in one time, and you'll get a good laugh out of it. It was something that they used to teach kids. There was teaching in cartoons. And then you had the adventure stuff that it just took you away from those, hey, listen, I'm studying, I learned. Now I want to relax. I want to take in, maybe go out and play, watch some cartoons. But then the government stepped in and killed Saturday morning cartoons because they said, well, they're not learning nothing. They need to learn more. Well, here we are in 2025. And where are we at with education standards? I think, what are we, 38 in math scores? Especially in New York. I mean, this is the things that are happening. We used to be top notch when it came to education. Now we're headed to the bottom. Why? Because too many politics in our schools. Not enough educating the kids. Too much politics. But now we get to watch all these old stuff all over again. So comment. Let me know your thoughts about this. Don't forget to hit that like, share this video, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for clicking on this video, because I know there are thousands of videos you could have watched, but you clicked on ours, and we really, really do appreciate it. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and so long.